All right, we are going to get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. My name is Amanda Wallstrom. I live in Phoenix, Arizona with my family, and we started wearing the patches September 1st of 2023, and we have seen tons of miracles, and it has just brought about the most amazing business that I never expected to have, and along with that, a lifestyle. So LifeWave really gives your ability to be your healthiest self, your wealthiest self, and also your most tax efficient self if you give it the time to do so. So, welcome everybody to LifeWave. LifeWave, I believe, is your best solution to your wellness and your wealth. I'm just trying to admit people here. So, before we get started off on all of the tax fun, I am really excited to share with you guys a bonus that is being offered by Scott and Renita Brennan. They are senior presidential elites with LifeWave. They are actually number two in the company. And when they joined, they took their business all the way to the top in 66 days. They made senior presidential director, and they want all of us to win. So, what they are offering us is anybody that enrolls as a new brand partner and within 66 days or less takes the business to the top, there's a $25,000 bonus on the table. 20,000 will go to that new brand partner, and 5,000 is going to go to whoever enrolled them, their sponsor. So if you are nearly up on your 66 days of being in LifeWave, or you've been into LifeWave for approximately a year and a half, like I have, it's okay. Go out and find those people that want to take it to the top and win. So who can we look for that? Right. So number one is I am going to look for people that are in other direct selling companies that love direct selling and that already have a team built. Okay. Then I'm going to look for the people that have a team, but no company anymore because maybe it went out of business, right? I'm also looking for those opportunity driven leaders that they always have their ear to the ground for new opportunities. They're smart business people. They have their entrepreneurial mindset, and they just love sales and they're extroverted, love to go out and win. Those are the kind of some of the people that I am looking for there. So this bonus is going to run until the new compensation plan is released, which is approximately very end of December, very beginning of January in 2025. So now on to some tax fun. First, I want you guys to get into a tax mindset. Being tax efficient has nothing to do with being in the gray or breaking any rules at all. You guys are not breaking the rules. You're playing by the ones written for you. You guys, the IRS rewards entrepreneurs. Every single person on this Zoom is an entrepreneur. The tax laws are written in your favor. In fact, there's over 400 potential tax deductions that are available to small businesses per the US tax law, and most of those apply to LifeWave distributors that are running their business from their home, traveling, or even on vacation. So, one thing that I really want to sink into your guys' mind today is when you live the LifeWave lifestyle, which means you're sharing your business wherever you go. Your business fits into your lifestyle. You're not trying to fit your lifestyle into your business. Your life becomes your business, and your business becomes a tax advantage. I'm going to say that one more time. Your life becomes your business, and your business becomes a tax advantage. That means most things that you do are now a tax advantage. I need to say a disclaimer, and I should have said this first, is I am not a licensed tax professional. I love reading tax law, so I know how to play by the game, but I'm not a tax professional. The information shared today is for educational and informational purposes only and is based on publicly available resources and personal experience. So please consult with a certified tax advisor or accountant to understand how these benefits can work for you specifically. So LifeWave, you guys, is a very tax efficient business model. The direct selling model is very tax efficient. I have been in the real estate industry since 2011, all things real estate. And I thought I was very tax efficient. And then LifeWave came along and I learned about this model. I was not tax efficient before. This takes you to an entirely new level of being tax efficient. And it's for a couple of reasons. Number one is you can start immediately leveraging your deductions before any business profitable. And that's with most businesses, right? That you can do that. But that also is within here. LifeWave structure allows you to operate from anywhere. That's the biggest thing that makes this business different is I can operate my business while shopping at Whole Foods or Walmart, or I can operate it while at my daughter and I take ice skating lessons. I can do business there. That's what really makes you tax efficient because you have to drive to get there, right? You're going to go out to eat and you're probably going to talk to the waiter or the waitress. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you are doing daily business activities that count towards your tax efficiency. The other thing is your business expenses, i.e., the patches that you wear and you share, also reduce your taxable income. Now, there's been a little bit of question of if I'm wearing them, are those deductible? I've talked to my tax accountant and he agrees 100%. You guys see where I wear it, right? Right here. This is my advertising. This is my advertising. When I go to the gym, people ask, what is that? It is my intent to have people ask. It is also my intent to share. I carry patches with me wherever I go to share. So as long as I am sharing patches out of every single envelope that I open, those are fully tax deductible. So everything that you order that you wear, you're also sharing, and that is your intent, then those are tax deductible. So your LifeWave business is a financial vehicle. LifeWave is not just about health and wellness. It's a tax efficient pathway to wealth building and lifestyle freedom. If you guys take one thing away, take this with you. You're already spending it. Now it's tax deductible. Most things that you can now deduct in your LifeWave business are money that you're going to spend anyways. Now it takes that everyday spending into potential tax savings from moving your personal expenses now into a business column. Okay, so this business column is when you're serving legitimate business purposes. And we've talked about this. Every time you leave your house, your intent is to serve a legitimate business purpose by sharing this patch. Every time I get on my phone, people are asking, oh, how are you? Gosh, I'm 42, but I feel like I'm 20. Why is that? Oh, have you ever heard of this? We're always sharing it no matter what. So here is a little example that I put together. And this is a general example. So I have another disclaimer. These tables are for educational purposes only and are based on fictional scenarios. It is intended to provide a general example and should not be considered financial or tax advice. Again, please consult with your tax professional. So I broke this down into 4 major categories, okay? And I made some assumptions. So first, I'm going to go through the assumptions that I made so some of these numbers make sense. And I feel that these are quite conservative numbers. And even if they're not, it's okay. That just means your summary is going to be a little higher or a little lower, and that's perfectly fine. So number one, I'm assuming that the person is driving approximately 12,000 miles per year, okay? The other thing I'm assuming is that they are doing a straight line depreciation for their vehicles instead of a Section 179 or a bonus depreciation deduction. You guys can talk more to your tax advisor about the details of those. When it comes to home office, the assumption that I made is this person lives in a 2,000 square foot home and their office is 200 square feet. So that means 10% of their home goes towards their business deduction. Okay. So we're looking through auto deductions, business travel, home office, and then your business operational expenses. So starting with auto, you guys have 2 options. Okay. So you can choose your mileage deduction or you guys can do itemized depreciation. When you do choose mileage, only mileage is going to be in that deduction. So that means that whenever you leave your house and you're in your vehicle, you need to log everything. Okay. So there's some pros to mileage and then there's some cons to mileage. You better be really good at logging. Okay. And not forget or try to remember and backlog stuff. So you can either go from this location to this location. You can do odometers, you do mileage, but you also need to talk and write down who you spoke to, what business did you do on that trip. So in this example, at 12,000 miles per year at the 2024 tax rate of 67 cents per mile, this person would be able to deduct $8,040. Okay. Now, through the itemized depreciation, I looked at straight line depreciation, maintenance, gas, insurance, and loan interest. I'm going to come back to loan interest and explain this in a second to you guys. So, straight line depreciation, what you do here is you have your vehicle's value, you less the salvage value, and then you divide that total by the number of useful years. Okay. So I made an assumption that this person's vehicle is worth $20,000. The salvage value is $2,000, and this vehicle is going to be in operation for 5 years. So 20,000 minus two is 18,000 divided by five. This person gets to deduct $3,600 for the next 5 years of their straight line depreciation. Now, if they sell the vehicle, some of this depreciation, depending on what you sell it for, you're going to have to claim that on a future tax, but I'm not going to get into all the details of that. Next is maintenance. So maintenance is everything that you're probably thinking of, right? So it's oil changes, it's anything with brakes in here. So any maintenance of the vehicle, it's also if you got your windows tinted, if your car washes, right? If you new rims or anything like that, if you put fancy exhaust on, all of that can be classified into the maintenance for your vehicle. Gas is gas, insurance is insurance, loan interest. If you guys do not have a business where you're using your vehicle for that business, you do not get to deduct your loan interest. I know President Trump is working on changing some of that, but as of right now, that's the rule. Not anymore with LifeWave. You guys, your loan interest is going to be deductible up to the percentage that you use your vehicle. So I am not very risk adverse when it comes to taxes. I am more risk tolerant. I deduct 100% of my vehicles because every single time I leave my house, I am literally sharing the patches with somebody. That is my intent. That this is a team system. We try to talk to 3 to 5 people a day. So I homeschool my kids. I don't get out a lot. So you better believe as soon as I leave my house, I'm going to be sharing them with somebody and sharing a video, getting their number, something. So all of my miles, no matter where I'm going, are 100% deductible. And so that means my itemized total is also 100% deductible for my vehicle. Okay, so moving on to business travel. Travel documents that I included are a passport, if you guys do TSA pre-check or global entry, and then also the photos that are required to get your passport. So that's approximately $300. Airline tickets, if you travel if you go one trip a year with a family of four, you're surpassing $1,000. Rideshare could be taxi, Ubers, driverless cars, whatever that is, and then hotels, $300. So I feel that these are pretty conservative numbers. Your total travel is $1,660 in this scenario. Business travel, what does that mean? Again, no matter where I'm going, I am sharing those patches. So I might be going to Colorado to visit my family, but I'm going to be sharing those patches on the airplane. I'm going to be talking to the Uber driver about them. I'm going to be talking to the rideshare people about them once I get to Colorado. And when I'm there, I'm talking to people every single day. So every trip that I make is classified as a business travel trip because every day I am doing business related items. Okay, moving on to home office. So again, this is 10% because we're assuming that your home office is 200 square feet and 10% of your total home. So the average person in America that owns their home or even is renting spends $4,000 in home maintenance. So if you're renting and you don't have the gross lease where the landlord includes everything, you might fall into this category. So this includes any maintenance at all, right? So your big maintenance might be your air conditioner or your roof, but it also includes your smaller maintenance of lawn upkeep, any pest control, if you have pool, any pool maintenance, things like that. The other thing that you might not be thinking of is your home office is 200 square feet. You need to clean that home office. So the cleaning supplies that you purchase, keep track of those. You can deduct 10% of those cleaning supplies, the window cleaner, the carpet cleaner, whatever you guys are using. Utilities is self-explanatory. Internet, when I worked with my tax professional, I deduct 100% of my internet because I am my computer is open with business activities on it all day. So even though we may have other things going on in the home, like the TV or Netflix or Amazon Prime that uses the internet, I am also using the internet for my phone and for my computer. So we deduct 100% of our internet. Your homeowner's insurance is going to be at 10%, property taxes, and mortgage interest. This is something that you guys get to deduct no matter what. But now you're going to split into your two categories. So you're going to take 10% of that mortgage interest and property taxes into your business. And then the other 90% is going to be filtered over into your personal taxes. Okay. And now your home office finishes and fixtures. So maybe you need to buy a desk or a lamp or a pretty picture or whatever, that those items are going to be 100% deductible. So you can see, so we're focusing on the green column, the two business. So just for your home office, you get another $4,360 in deduction. So moving on to the business operational expenses, memberships, my gym membership, I fully deduct all of that because I'm there to work out, but my intent really there is to network. That's really why I go to the gym every day. Other memberships might be if you do networking events, some of them cost things. A membership that you might not be thinking about is if you have a credit card that they charge you an annual fee because you get more points. And if you put your business expenses on that credit card, now you can deduct that. If you have a Costco membership and you go and you purchase a lot of business items from that Costco, maybe you pro rata share that Costco membership there. Branded marketing materials or anything that has LifeWave on it. So if you guys are doing any vendor events and you do a pop-up banner or brochures or anything like that, of course, that's fully deductible. Your LifeWave product. The assumption here is that this person is on a 2-sleeve monthly subscription of X39. And when they came in, they purchased the advanced package. So including shipping and taxes, they have spent approximately $3,300 for their first year in LifeWave. Okay, business meals. You are only allowed to deduct 50% of your total business meals. So $1,000 is already the 50% that's calculated. So this person ate out $2,000 for the year. That's approximately $167 a month there, and they get to deduct 50% of that. With your business meals, you do want to record who you spoke to while they're there. Okay. And then computer, phone, and program expenses. So that is if you have to buy extra storage for your phone, or this might be Dropbox or Canva or your Gmail suite, whatever you use, that now, because you're doing business, that is fully deductible. Your cell phone monthly fee, 100%. Guys, this is a no-brainer that your cell phone is fully deductible because every conversation I have, my intent is to talk about LifeWave. And then if this is your first year with LifeWave, your previous year tax accountant fee is going to be deductible on your personal side. If it is your second year, then with LifeWave, you'll be able to deduct the previous year's taxes here. So coming over to the business summary. When we add up all of these, your deduction is $23,520. 22 out of these 24 line items, or only 2 out of the 24 line items, so your property tax and your mortgage interest, were likely things that you got to deduct last year if you didn't already operate your own business. So by spending $3,300 on LifeWave patches, which is taking your health to an entire new level, you get to add 22 line items. It's not an all-inclusive list to your deductions. And for those of you that file married jointly, you already get that 29,200 tax deduction for 2024. That doesn't change, you guys. That's already there. Now take a line and separate it. You've got your personal $29,200 deduction, and now you've got your business, an additional $23,520 deduction that you didn't have. So the average American is in a 16% tax bracket. So that means that this $23,500, how does this actually filter down? What it's going to do is this reduces your tax liability. So if you have LifeWave income, it's going to reduce your LifeWave income by that amount, and whatever is left over, then will funnel through and it'll reduce your personal income. So when you calculate at a 16% tax bracket, that $23,520 tax deduction actually is $3,763 in your pocket. You only spent $3,300 on your LifeWave patches this year. So your tax advantage actually paid you $463. Your patches did not cost you any money at all. T, you have a question.
Yeah, so on the meals and stuff when you're traveling, do you put that in a different column? Do you put because and I might be wrong, I did not read to the extent you do on the laws, but I was understanding like if you're on a trip and you get X amount of dollars or whatever for meals for the whole day or whatever because you're away from home on 24-hour or 5-day travel or whatever your trip like when I drove to Orlando, I drove so starting from leaving my driveway till return, I collected all meals 3 meals a day or whatever, and it was either so much a day was allowed or whatever, that kind of thing. Is that in a different column than the business meals? Or like, do you put that with the trips?
Are you getting per diem from like a company for that?
No, I was just looking at per diem, what the dollar amount was versus if you can deduct the 100% of each meal regardless of the cost. Like if
Nope. So
you're
you can
travel.
deduct 50% of the meal. So if you're getting paid per diem from a company, then you're not paying for it. But if it is from what the tax person in the tax law that I read and my tax um, accountant, he said that if it's coming out of my pocket and I spoke about business, then I can deduct 50% of that meal as long as I document it correctly.
Perfect. So, then would you group that in with the 50% just to keep all the meals together, make it mathematically easy, or would you group it over here with the trap business travel in a
Yeah,
line item over
you can
there?
do it. You can do it however you would like. I separate them out to my business travel with um, it's these items only, and then I keep the meals together. But this is just kind of how my brain categorizes things, and
Hmm.
so you guys can set up, your structure however you like, or work with your accountant how they like to see it.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So having a LifeWave business, no matter what, is going to make you very tax efficient. If you want to do like ninja style supercharging your tax strategy, you create and form an LLC. You can do a corporation, you can do a sole proprietorship, you can do a partnership. I'm only going to talk to you guys about an LLC right now. So there's a couple tax benefits. Number one, it's access to pass through taxation. So your profits pass through to your personal tax return, avoiding double taxation while still taking advantage of your business write-offs. So that's kind of what I talked about earlier is, if you had $23,000 in business deductions, if you made 10,000 with LifeWave, there's an additional uh, 13,000 that is remaining, that deduction is going to pass through and come off of your personal income tax. There's also the potential for S corp election. I'm only going to talk about this a little bit, but you guys do talk to your tax professional about this. This is the best kept secret and will make you so incredibly tax efficient. You can elect, you do not have to set up an S corp. You're going to elect to file as an S corp. It's a form 2553. So you'll tell your tax guy, can I file an S corp? I want this form 2553. So it reduces your self-employment taxes and you pay yourself a salary plus your distributions. So sometimes these self-employment taxes, like for your Medicare and Social Security, for your business side, can be upwards of 16%. If you're filing as an S corp, that can go away in many, many tax scenarios. That's a huge savings right there. And then after you have your income and then you have all your deductions. So you less your income by your deductions, and that leaves, let's just say it leaves $10,000. Well, if you are electing to file as an S corp, you get a 20% S corp deduction that now will come off of that net. So it really is an incredible bonus. So do talk to your tax professional about S corp election. You cannot do this if you guys are not setting up some form of a company, okay? And also stronger audit protection. This should make everybody say, yep, no matter what, I'm in. A formal structure like an LLC shows the IRS that you're operating a real business. When I talked to my tax professional, he said on a statistical basis, the percentage of people that get audited that have an LLC or some kind of corporation that do not, we are the lowest percentage of people that get audited, right? Because it assumes you know what you're doing. You're running a legitimate business, you're keeping track of all of your documents, and you're doing everything correctly. So, forming an LLC, if you are in any state, you guys can hire an attorney to do it. It's probably going to cost you a couple $1,000s. You could go with maybe like a legal Zoom online, and that they will also set it up for you. Or if you're in Arizona and potentially some other states, we have the Arizona Corporate Commission's office. So if you're experienced on and even if you're not, it's honestly so simple, you guys. It takes me 20 minutes to set up LLCs. So you can just go to the eCorp website and you select the business name that you want. It'll say if it's available, you select it, and then you just go through their prompts. If you're not sure of how to set it up, they also offer step-by-step guidance. I've done research in a lot of other states, and many of them, more often than not, you're going to go to your state's Secretary of State website. Once you get there, it's a very similar process as the Arizona Corporate Commission's office. You can have a step-by-step guide, or you can just click through yourself. All right, so now that you guys know how to run a very, very successful business, let's talk a little bit of how to make it a successful one, how to build your business, how to grow your team, rank advance, and turn your purpose into profit. Okay. In the book, Outwitting the Devil, author Napoleon Hill, he reveals that the devil claims control over 98% of the population because they drift through life without purpose or a plan. The remaining 2%, they're immune to his control. Why is that? Because they live with clarity, conviction, and intention. So your purpose plus a plan equals your power. I believe that your purpose is a divine assignment. It's born from passion and is placed from above. So when I was in Punta Mita, they had a panel of leaders that won the trip. And these leaders specifically had more people on their team rank advance than anybody else. And they all were asked the same question: how did you do that? And they all had a common denominator. They said, we talked to our team about their why. Their why. Why is your purpose? It's why are you doing it? It's who do you want to serve? Your why is deep rooted, it's the deep rooted reason why you start this journey. It might just be why you're starting to wear the patches. It might be why you want to wear the patches and do the business. It anchors your focus, it keeps your connection, it builds your resilience, and it fuels your passion. You guys, LifeWave is the vehicle and your why is the engine. I urge everybody to dig deep and find out what is your why? Like, why did you say yes to this technology or this business in the first place? And then share your why with your team, and then ask your team what their why is too, because people might join LifeWave because of a hype that you shared with them and just your general excitement. But people are going to stay in LifeWave because they're going to follow heart. And when you guys are sharing your why with each other, that is sharing your heart. We are most powerfully positioned to serve the person that we once were. So I'm say that one more time. You're most powerfully positioned to serve the person that you once were. And when you can talk to your team about your why, that is the human connection, right? With them. And so if you want to grow your team, that is the one thing that I would start with is just good old communication between the two of you. The last nugget that I'm going to leave you guys with is also in Punta Mita. I had the amazing opportunity to listen to Meredith Burke talk. She is LifeWave's president. And who here, by just a show of hands, knows what LifeWave's vision is? I didn't. I didn't until I heard Meredith Burke talk. LifeWave's vision is independence and freedom. I literally, if I say this too many times, I'm going to stand up and start flexing my muscles because it gets me that excited when I can think of the company that I am with, that I am building a legacy for my children for. Their vision is independence and freedom. That is their promise to us. That is their destination. Meredith Burr talked about they want us to have independence from government control. They want us to have independent medical independence, medical freedom, the freedom to, if we want to have a 2 acre lot somewhere, we can go and completely live off the grid via LifeWave products. Now, she can speak about this because she knows the inventions for 20 years in the future. But everything that LifeWave is doing is to give us this independence and freedom. So when we are providing this opportunity to people, this is really what we're offering. This is the end goal, you guys, is independence and freedom. It's to have your greatest wealth, your greatest health, your greatest lifestyle with this company. So independence and freedom is the vision, purpose is the fuel, and service, who do you serve, is the legacy. So thank you all so much. I hope you guys learned something, and we have a couple more minutes to answer questions. If you have some, just take yourself off of mute. Anybody? Yeah, Rhonda.
I think you should just get up and flex anyway.
I
Because I
did
know
want
I
to
know what
flex.
guns you're packing. I know what guns you're packing.
I know. You guys, Rhonda's amazing. So Rhonda is, I'm gonna get her stats wrong, but she is a racquetball champion, US World Racquetball Champion against men and women. She is also my dear friend. She loves the patches and she also trains me. So thank you, Ron, for being on. I love you. Awesome. Anybody else have any tax related questions, business building questions, or anything?
Nope, I think you did great.
Awesome.
I agree.
Awesome.
This was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And for those in Arizona, I am going to do another Zoom where I'm actually going to go to the Arizona Corporate Commission's office and I'm going to create an LLC. I'm not going to hit buy or complete, because it's just going to be a fiction one. So then you guys can see how to do this yourselves because there's absolutely no reason to spend the $2,000 with a lawyer. You can easily do it yourself and take control of your business, take control of your health, wealth. I mean, everything. We're going to be a one-stop shop for that. So I'll let the Arizona people know when I'm going to put that Zoom together, and I will record that as well for those that miss it.
Also, just so you know, I think there's a website or a company that you can go to and you can get an LLC. And I don't think you have to be in Arizona. I also think, because I did call them before, you can get it in any state. It's just a matter of getting, I think she said, a PO box or something like that. I have to find my notes and I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But you can go through them and get an LLC. I want to say it's free, or you can pay and they actually service you and do everything. But I will see if I can find that information and I'll give it to you so
Okay,
you can share it
fantastic.
with everyone.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic.
I just have a little question, and I mean, I know how to do the LLC and online. It's just very easy. As you say, it takes like a very few minutes just to do it. But my question is, what type of business do you have to put is it? Because that's a question when you create the LLC, they ask you, what kind of business is it?
Yep. So that's some of the training that I'm going to do a little bit later. We can talk about that offline. But
Mhm.
what kind of business do you have, right? So number one, we're education. We're providing health and wellness education. Okay. Number two, we have a distribution model. So you can choose something like that. I'm not sure if direct sales is an option for
I
there,
don't
but
think so.
there's a couple different options that you can choose when you are selecting what is your business. Honestly, what I usually do is I select other and then I type in exactly what I do.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. And then when you guys go, so you're going to set up your LLC, then you're going to go to the irs.gov and set up an EIN so you can get an EIN number. And from there, again, you're going to have to select a drop down box to classify your business. So you'll do it on both. And then so if you want to set up like your own bank account and things like that, the documents that you will take to your bank to set up your business banking account is they want your EIN and they want your articles of organization from when you set up your LLC.
Hey, Amanda.
Yeah. Hi, Renee.
Hi. Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
Do you recommend setting up an LLC at any point in your business cycle or once you hit a certain dollar threshold? What's your thought? We just switched to a new CPA this year and
When I have, yeah, when I have a sneeze, like a hunch that I'm going to do a business, I have an LLC first.
okay, because his questions were all about liability. He's like, how risky is it? And I'm, well, not really. I'm not really the, main company. LifeWave has the majority of the risk. So his recommendation was just wait until you're making a little bit more money. He said, because then it's double taxation and, double tax, all that kind of stuff. So I was just
Mhm.
curious what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, I just set it up right away. I get it rolling right out the gate. And I always just send an email to the professional, hey, by the way, we added another LLC to the mix. Here's what it is. And your tax guy, he might, if you have more than one, he might lump them together and do a single file because often they will charge a fee per document that they have to file for you. So but I do it right away just
Okay.
because once you never have more time than right before you start your business, right? Because when you start it, and especially when it's growing, everything is kicking off, and then you're really busy. And then you want to be focusing more on income producing activities, not structuring your business. So I always do things from the very beginning. I get my LLC set up, I get whatever email address I want to set up. I have it all set up. So when I'm ready to launch, my operational stuff is done and ready to go.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else?
Amanda, then do you need to come up with a name for your business then?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yep.
it's
Yep. So
always
it can be,
LifeWave?
no, you don't want it to be LifeWave because LifeWave was taken by LifeWave. So it needs to be something else. For
Uh-huh.
example, so I have a couple real estate development companies. Those have one. I have a residential real estate company. That's a different LLC name. My LLC name for LifeWave is Rose Vitality. My middle name is Rose. All my business have something Rose in them. So you're going to pick that. And that's when you first go to sign up for your LLC. You're going to have to choose your name because you can't get started without having that name, and it'll say if it's available or not. So pick something, and it's totally fine to have Maribel Tobar, comma LLC if you want. It really doesn't matter. Nobody in LifeWave, when I'm doing business, like Susan Gladstein, she's on my team, her amazing, beautiful new little baby. She had no idea what my LLC name was. It doesn't matter. That is just for LifeWave. That's just a tax tool, and of course some liability. Everything regarding LifeWave is just me and my personal, Amanda Rose Wallstrom. So this is a behind the scenes. So it doesn't really matter what the name is. What I will say is that if we have, I think we have a couple of real estate professionals on here, and they're already going to know this, separate it out. That's why I set up something separate because I don't want to commingle my LifeWave business and incomes and bank accounts with anything for real estate. Liability too. Keep your stuff separate if you have more than one business. I recommend. Yeah, Rhonda. Oh, you're on mute, love.
There we go. Mine's actually the opposite of what you just said. I have all the things I'm doing under one LLC because they all kind of go hand in hand in one way, like
Yes.
one rolls into the other in some kind of way. So, when I set up my LifeWave with you, we put my LLC as the identifier. So,
Yep, exactly. Because you're 100. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. 100%. So Rhonda she trains athletes for just basic training. She also trains racquetball players from all over the world. She has a book. She does all of these. She has a website. She does affiliate different things, but all of it is geared towards health and wellness. And LifeWave fits perfectly right into that. So it only made sense for Rhonda. This is just another arm of one of her businesses. So we kept it the same. And you can absolutely do that. I would just say if you have something that's completely unrelated, like my brother-in-law, they own a trucking company. We set up a different one because the two aren't related at all. And again, this is just my opinion. So consult with somebody if you have questions on it. This is just what I do.
So Amanda, with LifeWave, are you set up as an individual with your social or with your company?
My company and the EIN.
Okay, so you didn't sign up personally. You enrolled your company name.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I did it, I put both. So because they changed it, often I think now when you put your company name in, they delete out your personal name. That wasn't the case when I enrolled. It's my name and then my company name. So it's all in there. Now I think it's different. As soon as you put the company, I think it's going to delete out the other name. But here's what I always tell people, and I started training as well, my team, is that when you're enrolling somebody, ask that question. Do you have an LLC already established that you would like to put here? Because LifeWave makes it simple, but it's just another process that you have to do to add it later. There's a specific form that you fill out to add your business later. And then you have to, if you've already been making income, you already have your I payout account set up. And now you need to switch your W-9 and everything with them. So if you have it set up, always ask your team or always ask your new member if they have one. And if they're like, yeah, but I don't want to use it, say, let's use it. If it's not something completely unrelated and we can justify it. Because it only makes sense. Only makes sense.
So if we don't have it right now, we have to go and create it. And
Yep.
then like there's a process, you're saying that there's a process that we have to, so we just cannot add it basically. We
Nope,
have to go
LifeWave
through a
Corporate's going to
process.
add it. Yeah,
Also, they
so
have to
there
add it.
is, yep, so there's a form and I will add this form to that LifeWave launch website under the shareable documents. I will add the document that you need from LifeWave in that folder so you guys can all have access to it. And it's really simple. I mean, you just fill it out and they'll tell you exactly what you need. I think you submit your articles of organization along with it so they know the date that you're incorporated. And
Okay,
then
what is the name of the form?
they'll automatically send it over to the iPayout and it'll get taken care of.
Okay, where are you going to put it, you say?
So
Sure.
the website, so the lifewavelaunch.com, in there is, I'll put that in the chat. So in there, there's a link to shareable documents. So that's where, like, if you find like your onboarding email and different things, it's all in there. It's the same spot.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you create these yourself, Amanda, in Arizona? Yours are all Arizona LLCs?
Um, yes, I actually I set up a business to set up LLCs for people. I have an LLC to set up LLCs. I really like LLCs, you guys.
Oh, wow. Hey, can you do
But
them in Tennessee?
um, yes, they're actually quite easy to do anywhere, but no, I don't want to. So
Okay.
I love you, Renee, but I don't want to do it. I want to
Yeah.
focus on LifeWave. I actually, yeah, I did some people's, and then what I found is the juice wasn't quite worth the squeeze on it because then they come back and then it's all the tax questions and it's all this
Oh,
and what do
yeah.
I give my tax for? What do I do this? And then I found I am now directly communicating with their tax professional, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa! This is like a one-time fee, kind of, and
Yeah.
it's just too much. So
Yeah.
but yes, you guys, they truly are so simple. It is.
Okay.
And if they're, as we're asking you a question on there, how do you want it? Member manage, manager manage, just Google it. It's so
Mm-hmm.
simple. And it really honestly,
I had one for my real estate business in California, but when I moved to Tennessee, I closed that because I stopped that whole thing. So I just have to start over here.
yeah, yeah, it's simple. And you guys are a single members, or maybe you have, a spouse or somebody in it too, but it's really so simple. So which option you choose, manager managed, member managed, it's only you. It's always going to fall on only you. So it really just doesn't matter. So I wouldn't get too hung up on that kind of stuff.
It's all those documents, like the articles of organization, all that stuff. Like, aren't they like copy paste somewhere? Like, isn't there templates somewhere for those?
It fills it out completely. You don't have to do it. If you want to go to a lawyer and have your own filled out and all your agreements, you can upload them, but you don't have to. It'll ask you, do you
Okay.
want to pre-populate the organization? Or I always say yes. And
So it's
so,
something online. So there's an online website you
yeah,
go to.
so Yes. So I know South Dakota, Colorado, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and I think North Dakota, you all go through the Secretary of State website. And it's right there.
Okay.
And it'll be on there somewhere like choose
Hmm.
like Colorado, set up LLC, Secretary of State, and the link will be right there. I don't know in Tennessee, but
Okay.
I would check if you do not have a corporate commissions website. The next place I would go would be the Secretary of State website.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yep, you're so welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a couple of ideas or suggestions.
Yep.
All right. So when people are thinking about their corporate name, they might optionally check to see if the domain name is available.
Hmm.
And because sometimes it's an afterthought versus a forethought.
Yeah.
And as they're going through that process, they might also think about what keywords they might want to use. And this wouldn't apply to everybody, only the people that want to utilize the website for, email or linking to their LifeWave business. And since you've already done this, you probably have just recently gone through a lot of that already.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say to piggyback on that as well is because you can choose your name. So it might be Susan Gladstein LLC, but she might want to do a doing business as, and that's the doing business as name is maybe what she wants to host as a future website or something. So yeah, that's great advice. Thank you, Eric.
Another thing, if anyone wants to create or develop business credit, I know this is a little bit of a side topic, they can look up the benefits of a shelf company. I'm not saying you need to buy one, but look at all the features and just follow that as a blueprint or guide. You fill out all of that, get that completed, and you're developing your business credit as a result, which is essentially free.
Yeah, that's great.
One more thing that
Could
I'll
you
pass
repeat the
along.
last part? Could you please repeat the last part that you say where we can do it?
Just like do a Google search for a shelf, SHELF company. And there's like a list of benefits or features that they're providing with that purchase. I'm not saying to make a purchase. I'm just saying look at those bullet points and complete those yourself for your own LLC. And as a result, you'll be developing your business credit. And most of that is free.
Yeah. So it's important for business credit is if you ever wanted to go right and take like a loan or get something with the business versus you personally. A lot of times with the LLC, they're going to look at your business. And if you don't have enough credit, then they also look at you personally. But if you do have enough credit, it has been in business for long enough and it has generated X amount of income, they can just solely look at the business. But you need the business credit.
And I've got one more suggestion for all of you guys. If you are not already using ChatGPT and or Grok, Grok, I suggest you download it. You can use it for free. If you like it, you can pay for like $20 monthly subscription, but you can ask it questions and get targeted results within seconds that would otherwise take you possibly hours searching Google. So use ChatGPT. Anytime you have a question, I now use that more than I use Google search because it's
Me
so
too.
fast and accurate.
Me too. I love it.
And I love Grok, Grok. It just became available recently, and it's one that was developed by Elon Musk.
I
Oh,
haven't
is
used
that
that one. I haven't used
with
that one.
Twitter?
Do what?
Is that the one that's like on Twitter, I think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
they're
okay.
integrated.
Yeah. So Cody just started using that. That's cool. I'm reading in the comments and around a US said, what if the vehicle is PIF? What's PIF?
Yeah, full.
Paid in full. If the vehicle's paid
Oh,
off, there's
paid
no
in full. Oh, yeah. So then Rhonda, because yours is large enough to do section 179. Did you section 179 it?
Mm-mm.
You can still deduct it. It's because it's all about the vehicle value, not your loan. on it. So you can still do the depreciation. So they're going to go and do like a valuation less the salvage and then do that. Yep.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. Anybody else? I'm just looking through the comments, see if there's any other questions. Nope, that's it. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for spending a little bit of your afternoon with me. It was great to see all of you, and I appreciate it. And I'll put for those of you that might not have it here, I'm going to put my number in the comments also. So feel free to reach out, or if somebody else on here is your direct sponsor, reach out directly to them with questions, or to me too, and I'm happy to help with anything.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you,
guys are
thank
welcome.
you, thank you.
Yep, you're so welcome. Okay, have an awesome, blessed day.
Thank
You
you so
too.
much,
I
Amanda.
see
Thank
those
you.
guns.
Bless you too.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
Okay, bye
Bye.
guys. Thanks.